Look at this.
This is getting rough. This is certain death. This is just a taste of what's to come. So it's November 24th, and I'm gonna do a few days of long driving days. Gonna get into the Arctic in a couple of days, so I'm just gonna do a sprint here now. I was considering going through Sweden, but I think this is gonna be faster and more efficient for where I want to go, and cross into the Arctic at Saltfjellet, Salt Mountain. If you remember the video from the biggest blizzard of my life, that was filmed there. I'm gonna go up there for another snowstorm that's coming in a few days. I want to get past those areas that could be closed when that storm comes in. So gonna head into the polar nights, and that's gonna happen pretty soon as I cross into the Arctic. So the road conditions are completely awful. It's ice, and it's mixed with this washboard kind of grooves in the ice, so it's shaking like crazy. So I'm trying to stay in the middle of the road here just to not have to go in the ice grooves, because it's gonna shake my van to pieces. Wow. Quite spectacular here now. Going through Namdalen Valley. This is winter wonderland up here. We're like 3.5 hours from the Arctic Circle, 4 hours. This is just fantastic. Look at the beauty. Now the road is all ice, so it's a little bit better. Not as bumpy when you don't get down to the tarmac. Starting to snow, some big flakes now for the storm that's coming. The roads are so terrible. Listen to this shaking here. course, there's absolutely nowhere to stop. Airing down to 50 psi for now. I had 60. These roads, they're just undrivable. Alright, let's see if this helps. Look at all the snow. This is crazy. It's been snowing so intense. Really stoked to see all this snow. Let's go with 50 psi. It's not helping much. I just have to go as far out on the shoulder as I can here. I think they're putting warm sand on the road in those patterns here, and that's what makes the road so bad, because they create these grooves that just destroys my van. It's probably good for the big trucks, but for my van this is certain death. This is hopeless. Got new stuff. New sound, so shaking the back of my van here. Everything's shaking loose. I wish I could enjoy this amazing scenery here. Oh, wow. Did you see that? These are all dead reindeer. Huh. I saw some of those earlier. I don't know if they get run over by trucks. Wow. There's just hundreds of dead reindeer. So I've heard of that happening on some of these roads. There are too many reindeer and they're just in the road. And I don't know why, but it's probably because of all the snow. So they're finding a place to walk that's easier. And during nighttime or whenever, they get run over. Like whole flocks get run over by trucks. I can see that happening here, so need to watch out here. The road changed to a good, well-maintained road as soon as we got off that area. Alright, we got a long tunnel here. It's 9 kilometers. So what's that? Like 5 or 6 miles. quite hazy in here. That's Mo i Rana out there at the end of the bay. Alright, let's go and get some propane. Alright, it's starting to snow. I need to get into this store here, Oops, to get my latest supplies and food for getting into the Arctic. I'm gonna go up on the Salt Mountain now, and it looks like it's gonna be snowing quite a lot over the coming days. I think I'm gonna see if I can find a snow shovel as well, because I really need a bigger snow shovel if I get snowed in up there. So, let's go. Ja, tack så bra. Well, I definitively needed this snow shovel. It started snowing now and it's gonna snow like crazy. There we go with the snowfall. That's pretty exciting. Heavy snowfall is always fun. So by Mo i Rana, gonna head up on the Salt Mountain and into the Arctic. About an hour away from the Arctic now. Up, 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 up. And by last big store before the Arctic. Perfect weather for getting into the Arctic. What do you think? I think this town here, Mo i Rana, is basically originally a mining town. And there's some big mines, I think, in this area. I'm not sure if they're the main business of this town now. There's so much here now, but used to be. If anybody knows, please let me know. So no turning right on red here, my friends. From the US. That's a pretty good rule, actually, but we don't have that here. So over here, we could go to Hemalan and places. And would you know, Toyota. Kind of cool light when it's snowing. Let's go. It is coming down now. All we're back here. If you remember from the video called The Biggest Snowstorm of My Life. And a few trailers parked here today. And here's the shelter without all the snow around. All right, you wanted to see inside, I think. I'm gonna go up to the Arctic Circle now, a few kilometers away, and then we'll see how it looks up there, or if I have to come down here to park. Looks pretty different here when it's November and haven't got all that snow yet. So what I want to do is to park at the Polar Circle. Alright, Polar Circle in 2 kilometers. So here we are. This is the Arctic Circle. And there's nobody here right now. That's a huge parking lot there. Didn't expect that to be open. Never driven in here before because it's always been snowed over. But this is the Polar Circle Center. And I'm just wondering, got my new exterior lights on the outside. In comparison, this is my headlights in high beam, low beam. Exterior lights. I'm pretty much now at the Polar Circle Center. I'm in the Arctic officially. And I think I'm gonna stay here, gonna check the forecast now. There's enough space for people to not park on top of me if anyone else shows up. We'll just have to see what happens there. So I wasn't 100% sure on that parking spot there, so I'm gonna look at a few others just to be certain. I might come back to that, but it's snowing a lot now. It's gonna slow a ton, so I need to find a place where I'm sure I can get out. Spot I like. Comes the plow truck. Yeah, I actually think I like this. This is pretty cool. Close to the road, so I can grab a plow truck if the snow should get too bad. Well, it's sure stormed last night, but now it looks quiet before the big storm tonight. Where's the plow truck? Followed by a big load. It's a whole convoy of big trucks coming past here. -7.5 through the night. That's what happens usually when you get a storm. Let's heat this up and get back into bed for a few more minutes. Good morning, my friends. It's a really darkish morning here in the Arctic, yet there's a few broken clouds, so it is not as dark as it could have been. It's 10 o'clock nearly now, and I'm not expecting to see much of the sun since we're north of the Arctic Circle and it is November 26th. So I don't know if the sun has left for good yet. Maybe my app will say something about that. Yeah, there's a few hours of the sun being above the horizon, but probably not above the mountains. So anyway, got the most important meal of the day, of course. Coffee. Cheers, my friends. And today I'm gonna stay up here and work on the next video before that next snowstorm, or blizzard rather. Tonight is gonna be a big one. It's gonna be a ton of snow and storm force winds, so my plan is basically to hunker down where I was parked in the biggest blizzard of my life. That's probably the best place to hunker down for this one, because with the amount of snow that's coming down, it's gonna be difficult to get out of here again, and that's gonna be close to the plow trucks. But the problem is there's probably gonna be a lot of trucks parked there as well overnight, and they are quite noisy. If they drive fish, they have these cooling engines on their trailers, and that makes a huge noise through the night. Very difficult to sleep. Might have to bring out my earplugs for that. So, I'm in the Arctic. That was faster than it's been previous years. I did drive a couple of really long days, and a bit too long, 7 hours yesterday, and it just wears me down a little bit, so I prefer to take it more slowly and take my time, several days, and just enjoy the drive up. That's it for the morning. Let's just wait for this storm, see what happens. Gonna be 2 days of storms, so yeah, glad I have a big battery pack now and my Starlink and everything. It's crazy how it's calmed down. Although the storm through the night wasn't really bad, it's super quiet now, and then it's gonna hit really hard later today. Well, didn't get much snow yesterday that stuck on the ground. Shouldn't be any problem getting out here. Over there looks 100% open. Look here, this is perfect. So with all that snow coming down yesterday, there's really nothing here. It just blows clean off. So it's gonna be a big storm tonight and then a monster storm tomorrow. So that should be interesting. Big herd of reindeer here. One right in the train path. There's more. That's a little bit of Arctic sun on that mountain there. I'm so indecisive today. Really can't make up my mind about where to stay for these snowstorms. So I'm actually gonna do the smartest thing, I think, and that is to go back to outside the barrier. Looks like this could go on for days. So I think it's better to be outside. There's a lot of reindeer here now along the roads, so I'm driving with my exterior lights on. Alright, here we are. Gonna pull up here and stay here at least tonight. We'll see what happens. You remember this place, don't you? I just feel better about being here if it's gonna be days and days and days. And it's coming down now. So it's starting now, and there's some pretty heavy snow in the air, but nothing crazy wind-wise yet. See what happens. The forecast is for storm strength wind a little bit later. So this is just pickup basically. Not sure if I should have gone down here or not, but I'm here now. That is fine. So as you can see, this is more sticky snow than I usually get in my snowstorms and blizzards. And I'm sure that my van will be completely covered in snow by the morning. It's not that cold today. Usually it's much colder, so the snow gets more sticky the warmer it gets, basically. So that's why you usually never see my van covered in snow, because the dry, cold snow is always completely blown away from the van. But not today, it looks like. I think it's gonna peak in the middle of the night, so I might not be able to film most of it. But tomorrow it's gonna hit much harder, and I think it's gonna hit the whole day. According to the forecast that I saw before I came down here, it was gonna hit super hard the whole day tomorrow. So we'll see. It's gonna get beautiful though, because everything is getting plastered in snow. happy that I came down here because this is getting rough, and this is just a taste of what's to come. So super happy that I came down and not stayed on the mountain as usual. I had a feeling this would be the best way to go about it. But I woke up and there it was. Really hard snowstorm outside. And it's 5 in the morning now, 4 or 5. Didn't check the watch completely, but it's getting pretty rough out here. But this is a place where I had it rough before, and pretty good spot to be in for a blizzard, so no problem there. I can't film this way around too much because the lens will get filled up with snow, so I'm hiding behind the van a little bit. So happy about the lights, the external lights, just brilliant. So we're only in late November and it's storming everywhere now in Norway. But here it's blizzard, which is to be expected. Oh. It's really hurts my face. Good morning. I was up several hours through the night, so I'm up late today. 9:30. Been heating up the van for the past half hour. It's Thanksgiving. Look at this monster. It's been clearing the lot here now. So it stormed pretty bad through the night, but today it's gonna get worse, so I'm just gonna stay here. Today. It's quite the plow truck there. Well, good morning, my friends. Or it's 10 o'clock. It is Thanksgiving Thursday. We had a blizzard through the night. Gonna have much more blizzard through today and tomorrow, it looks like. I'm just gonna stay here and finish up a video and wait this one out. I'm not planning on going anywhere until this is over. Just enjoy it here, basically. This is a preferred spot for blizzards. Got my most important meal of the day. Coffee. Cheers, my friends. And it's gonna be a relaxing day here, I think. And it's snowing on and off quite heavily. So strangely enough, they never closed the road through the night, I think. Or at least not as far as I could see. I got up around 5 and stayed up until 8. Then I went back to bed for an hour. And the gates were open and a few trucks came through. So I guess this has to do with it being November, so there isn't that much snow yet. So it's kind of easier to keep open, I'm guessing. So here's my Starlink payment schedule. It's 1,000 Norwegian kroner, which is pretty much exactly $100 or maybe 80, 90 euros. I love good winter weather. So I'm just getting some work done, replying to a bunch of comments on my YouTube channel while you're watching this outside. Lots of cool weather now. Let's see what the forecast says. Yeah, it's gonna be snowing and storming through the day with a peak around 5 p.m. and then it's gonna peak again tomorrow morning. Around noon there's gonna be a ton of snow. That's gonna be the peak snow, and also at 6 in the morning. And then even Saturday, it's a big new storm coming in now. Wow, full storm. And then it's gonna continue on Sunday with less wind but a lot of snow. So it's Thursday today, so we got, what's that? That's 4 days of storming here. Maybe I should go across the mountain. Let's see what it says on the other side of the mountain. Well, up where I was parked yesterday, looks really bad today. And then that's gonna reach Saturday night. It's gonna reach 32 meters a second winds up there, and that's hurricane force, or is hurricane force wind, I think, is 32.4 meters a second. So that's gonna hit late Saturday night, between 7 p.m. and 1 a.m. in the morning. Didn't expect this, to be honest, but it is what it is. This spot is so good for storms because you have those plow trucks that come by every now and then, and they cleared a lot beside me here. And I'm in a snowdrift now, but I'm pretty sure it would be quite easy to get out of so far. And it's not for safety I'm staying here, it's for convenience, that it's easier to get out. Don't have to dig myself out of a big pile of snow. And it's also a cool place to be because there's lights here, and it's a cool place to get a little bit more variation in the filming of the storm, actually, because if it's just dark you can't really see anything. That's why I also have the exterior lights, of course. Well, it's time to take a walk outside. As long as there's daylight. There's daylight for 2 or 3 more hours. And it's sideways snow. Nothing crazy right now, but look at the circle around my van here with snow. I can get out in the back here. Well, let's have a look inside this now. you asked the last time, and I don't know if it's open, but it should be. It's just a waiting room with heat. This probably used to be a shower. And here's the bathroom. That's it. This is closed. So it's basically a truck stop. So it's dinner time, and I'm gonna try some new pancakes today. And in honor of it being Thanksgiving today, I'm gonna do American pancakes. And I'm gonna do that with cheese and serrano ham. But I'm gonna add raspberry jam this time for the sweet taste. So maybe some bananas as well, we'll see. How about this outside here? Isn't that pretty cool? And this is the reason why I have the new exterior lights, so you can see this while I'm cooking, to be able to see the snowstorm going on outside while I'm cooking. It just looks incredible from what I can see on the screen here. So, amazing stuff, isn't it? First I'm gonna open an alcohol-free beer again, and there it goes. Of course, it just happens all the time. Really annoying. Well, cheers my friends. It's going off outside now, which is pretty awesome. So, got these pancakes here. They say American style pancakes. So let's do this. So there's 1, 2, 6. I think I'm gonna make a stack. This idea about how I want to go about it. So I'll do cheese. I'm using Spanish Gouda cheese. It's probably not a Spanish cheese, but it's Dutch cheese, I guess. If any of you can let me know what it is, then that would be awesome. Then serrano ham. Look at this goodness here. Oh, that's a bit much. All right. So here's the raspberry jam I'm gonna be using. I'm gonna do my big pan. Go. I have to open the sunroof. It's gonna snow in, but need to be safe. Wow. Cheers to this snowstorm outside here. This is amazing, isn't it? Look at this. Okay, I'm gonna add a banana as well. I think we can start stacking. That's pretty cool. How about that stack of pancakes? So where do we put the jam? Right here, or let's get some here. That's good stuff. And then put this last one on top. We'll add the bananas just sloppy on top like this. It's sliding off, don't go. Everything is sliding off. What a disaster. Okay, let it slide. There's my sliding pancakes. What a disaster, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna be super tasty. Cheers, my friends, and happy Thanksgiving. Let's try this. Looks like cars are still going by. Okay, now here's the moment of truth. That is so good. Amazing. It's thickening up outside now. Pretty awesome. This is the best pancake meal I've ever made. So, American pancakes and serrano ham and cheese with raspberry jam. You don't need to use still going through here. You of course don't need serrano ham. You could use any ham, I think, or you could just leave it out, but it gives like a special taste, the serrano. Alright, I'm done. That was amazing. Feels so Christmassy. And tangerines are the #1 Christmassy food. Just smells like Christmas to me. Right now it seems like the wind is much fiercer the other side of the building. I think I am sheltered from that right now. The wind is turning a little bit more to the west. Well, maybe I spoke too soon. It's kind of picking up again now. This is the good thing about being parked here. You get your own personal plow truck. It's a full train of plow trucks now. It's the 3rd one. Guess the weather is getting pretty nasty. Today I'm in a slightly different position in my passenger seat, swivel seat, and I'm watching some Trent the Traveler videos while I'm just watching the snowstorm that's going on outside. So cozy.
AC unit.